So the Second Amendment, and this is good, our government wants this. They actually want to protect this, even though the liberals think they want to get rid of this. They're scared of their own shadow. Our founding fathers were genius engineers. They knew that they knew that government could be the worst thing you ever experienced in the world. It's true. A bad government that's beating you and killing you and torturing you and taking their tax money and all that stuff they experienced in England and around the world. Anybody who was familiar with that knew how bad government could be. And government is Satan on the earth. It can be. Inhumane, cruel, self-serving government is a horrible master. And so our founding fathers, who came from a deep, personal, visceral familiarity with that experience, created America, where that can never happen, should never happen. They gave us the Second Amendment, which gives us the ability to dethrone and keep in check, its check and balance, tyrannical government through force. We are given firepower to form militia and just fight against tyrannical government. We are not given those ability to fight to tear down our own healthy government, which is the same kind of government our founding fathers gave us. So, this is the only part that maybe intimidates administration levels of government, is that, hey, we can't change very much from what our founding fathers created us to be, because they've given the people the ability to shoot us if we deviate too far from what our original design spec was. But guess what? That's actually not a problem for government either, because we gave the government the ability to be adaptive, to change, to be innovative, to have 50 test tubes, 50 states to run experiments on and see how healthy competition, not, parasitic or entropic or cancerous, destructive testing, destructive competition. It's supposed to be race to the top competition, not race to the bottom competition. And these 50 states are supposed to be feeders that feed up to the federal government level innovative solutions and ideas and methodologies of getting things done. Maybe Oregon does dentistry better than Colorado, but Colorado does medical marijuana better than Florida or whatever. We don't know, But these are supposed to be race to the top type competitions. And the government every government wants to be the strongest and most powerful, which includes having their people be the most strongest and powerful people compared to everybody else's people. And American people are given deep, deep autonomy, deep freedom. With that freedom comes the responsibility to choose to spend it on good and justice and nobility and righteousness, and not just self-serving leisure and benefits, but to actually do something better for the group. And each human should take time in their prayer life and quiet time with God, to say, hey, is my life, career, what I'm doing in the world, is it benefiting me and my household as much as it's benefiting the group? So all humans, we're all made in the image of God. We're all living, sentient, conscious agents. We should always learn something from maybe the Asias, which is to place ourselves in amongst the group and to balance that against our views of our own self, against ourselves. We are not called just to be self-serving and to grow our own kingdom. We're also called to leave the world a better place. Any neuron in the brain that only is self-serving neuron and it doesn't help any of the other surrounding neurons is going to go for ablation. It's going to be ablated. It's going to be apoptosis. Something ain't going to go right with it. It's going to get bullied into being reprogrammed, but it can't. There's no room amongst the many for an individual that works against the many or won't cooperate with the many. That is a function in nature, in the mind, in the world. It exists in God's kingdom. But you can have very strong individualism. You can't have a single neuron in the brain that just loves the color, I don't know, pick one. We'll go with purple. It's royal. You can have a neuron that just goes bananas for the color purple, and it really doesn't respond to chocolate or hot sauce or anything else. It just is a fanatic for purple, right? But that's fine. But that neuron and its activation potential and the way it functions has to still work in harmony with all the other neurons. It can't just be some complete counterproductive Lone Ranger. There is a saying, fire together, wire together, wire together, fire together. It's kind of a chicken and egg thing. But that's the way community works. That's the way the body works. The Bible speaks about body parts in relationship to the whole body. There is systems and there's components to systems. You can't be a component in a system that's out there trying to destroy the system. If you ask yourself, what does it mean to be American? It means to be a part of America, to further the goal of America, to just not be anti-American. You can be dead fat and still technically be American. Fat's an insulator. It helps preserve warmth or something. So you can be dead weight, technically you can be dead weight and still be American. The one thing you can't be and still be American is be anti-America. So what does it mean to be American? It means to be about the things America's about. Well, what the hell's America about? Well, go read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Federalist Papers. Go read the Bible too. These are inalienable, God-given rights bestowed to us by our Creator, not by fellow man. If fellow man gives us our value and our rights, then fellow man can revoke them and take them away. If they come from God, they're irrevocable. No human can take that value of your life away from you, or diminish it, or attenuate it, or put it in a box and stuff it in the corner and marginalize it. They're God-given rights. So it's very important. These are important concepts to understand. And we actually are coming out of an intellectual dark age, even though we got the internet and TikTok and stuff. Young people have never learned history or what the Bible says or what our founding father, what the history of America says, what our founding documents say. We just get emotionally reactive and easily triggered, and we hate people. We tear down these statues of Thomas Jefferson and stuff. You got to learn the full story. Maybe he owned a slave, but there's more to the story than just he owned a slave, okay? There's a lot more. He helped abolish slavery. It wasn't the final thing, end all be all of abolishing slavery, but he had a critical place in this whole wave of events that moved through history, and he actually was a good part of history. He was not a bad part of history. And I've got my own ignorances and things I got to go learn about, but I'm pretty sure we shouldn't be tearing down our statues. I'm pretty sure that's completely silly. That's no different than the people who deny the Holocaust. Can't be doing that. Iran, you got to knock that crap off. We are a special creature. The government actually wants us to be resilient. It wants its nation's people to be the strongest, best, healthiest people it can be. That means empowering them to solve their own problems. Distributed architecture is always more powerful than single point control. If the individual nodes have knowledge and wisdom and autonomy. If they're dumb nodes, if they're just slave nodes, then you need your central point of control sending the signaling, the command and control signaling to all those nodes. But that means that there's a single point of failure, which is the top, the control structure. If you decapitate the control structure, the entire thing is left dead. That's not what our founding fathers created. That's not what God created when God left his first love interest, which was Satan, and moved into a distributed architecture, which is a species called humanity. Satan broke God's heart. He was very close to God. Look at the role of what Satan did. He was God's first girlfriend. He was close proximity. He accentuated the beauty of God. He reflected God's glory back to him. There was an iterative process to it that he somehow became corrupted in, according to the parable of the king of Tyre. Sorry, I have lung congestion I got to get rid of. It was in his dealings that he was found evil. So maybe God would send out glory and Satan was supposed to reflect the glory. You know, God had sent out 100 parts of glory. Satan was supposed to reflect 100% of the glory back, and maybe he was keeping one part and only sending 99% back, and, you know, he was stockpiling that 1%. I don't know. But in some way, shape, or form, the Bible alludes to this iterative process, that there was some sort of dealings, and that Satan was found evil in his dealings. We got to learn from that. We have to be a trained eyeball, a trained ear. We need heightened receive sensitivity of the mind, of the observational abilities to study, to be a philosopher, to be a pursuer of truth. Science means the pursuit of truth. We're to be pursuers of truth. We're to look for truth. Truth is a shining, blaring light bulb. It's very obvious. Truth is not actually that hard to find. It can be quiet. And there is a lot of noise drowning out its small little voice. But it's actually a very blatant, blaring, obvious revelation when you come to it. Be a pursuer of truth. Help be the best citizen you can. Learn the Bible. The Bible doesn't tell us to destroy our government. The U.S. government should love Christians, because there's only one circumstance where Christians would ever turn against the government. It's when the government says you can't have your God.